A very singular name, because there are only two things in life we call singular, the God and the mother. And I thought, Sachin, we have a right to call you singular. I think when we looked at 50 years of my pediatric practice, I realized that we need to get to parents to tell them how they can keep their children fit and possibly avoid a disease. And I think that's why this kind of a situation that we ran into, and we thought we will have a book called Even When There Is a Doctor. What is the genesis of this book? Children of present generation of poor health. WHO has said that 8 out of 10 children all over the world have poor health. Now imagine, it's not just the nutrition. Health is for many other ways to look at, and we'll see how it is. Well, medical advances have gone so far, but they cannot just keep the health of individuals fit. Medical advances are only to repair the health. And to keep healthy, you don't need medical advance. And I think, where are we going wrong then? I think doctors are today getting disease managers and not health promoters. And the parents are short of time, skills and guidance. In such a situation, there is a gap. And I hope our book exactly tries to bridge this gap between the parents and the doctors. You may not know what is health really, and health has 5 components. When I said 8 of 10 children in the world are unhealthy, it doesn't mean that they are malnourished. Health is physical, of course, we know, weight and height. But we know that in India also, 80% are unhealthy. Either they are undernourished or overnourished. Only 20% of our child population is normal. How can they turn out to be good adults and healthy adults? Of course, you have a mental health, and then a social health, the good conduct and manners, and you have an emotional health. How can we cope up with stress? Today, every child, every newborn has a stress. We need to create a way that they can really take care of this stress. And of course, lastly, a spiritual health, which means compassion, love, and forgiveness. It is so pity. Every week, I see in the paper a 14-year-old killing a 2-year-old. This is not health. Health is not just nutrition. Health is all these components, and our book emphasizes the need to be real healthy, not just malnourished or overnourished. How to maintain health? I think staying healthy is not a natural phenomenon. 99% of us were born normal, and still only 20% remain normal at the end of the day. I think there's something going wrong, obviously. Nature is kind. We are born normal. But the nurture decides the outcome ultimately. And what is best? A care of first 1,000 days in life. What is this 1,000 days? The pregnancy period and the first 2 years. Makes 1,000 days. And if you care for those 1,000 days, a foundation is laid strong, and that is not a
Test match. Then I thought Anjali would play a quick one-day game, and then tailenders usually walk in and do their bits and pieces. Since my role has changed, first of all, I'm so happy to be here, sir, because all the good things that I've heard about you from Anjali, it gives me immense pleasure and honor to be here. Congratulations to Dr. Chokani and Dr. Krishnan also. One thing is to have knowledge, but I think it is extremely important to impart that knowledge. This book, I'm sure, is going to guide all of us. It's never too late to change, and it's never too late to get better. With UNICEF having been their ambassador for a while, I know about early learnings, how critical the first 1,000 days are in every child's life. And to give you my personal examples, I was a naughty child, difficult to manage. I can see some children here. Masti karni chahiye. It's good to be naughty, but also important to respect elders. And that people keep talking about an individual's nature. Now, what is nature? I feel nature is all about what the parents, grandparents, your elder brother, elder sister, everyone, all your relatives inculcate you. And that becomes your nature. I was extremely lucky to have a balanced family. My father, who was always extremely calm, balanced, never got angry, never got agitated. In fact, I wonder even now, looking at all the tricks that I was up to, how did he keep his patience? And so did my mother. They gave me freedom, they pampered me, but never spoiled me. When situation demanded to be firm, they were firm, and the right words were chosen. He never shouted at me, but just the tone, the language, I could understand. Even when I was literally 3-4 year old, I knew exactly, I'm not supposed to do this. So with children, after becoming a father, I understood that you need to be patient. Sometimes on the field you tend to lose patience. You play some rash shot, but here you have to be careful. As far as parenting is concerned, I wouldn't want to take any credit at all. Person right behind me, I would like to give her all the credit, and more so because we both were doing well in our careers, and when you clearly know that you have a promising future, exceptional future ahead, and that is when an individual decides to take a back seat. It takes a lot of courage. I've openly thanked her on a number of occasions. I would want to thank her in front of the medical fraternity also for everything that she's done. And above all, bringing up Sara and Arjun so beautifully. With my career, when I started playing cricket and started traveling, it happened quite early. I must have been literally 13 or so. And that is when I had to go to Indore for a month to attend a national camp. And those were the days without mobiles, internet, and all these fancy gadgets were not available. So only, local phone call, whatever, and that's it. And if you were to communicate with your family, you had to write letters. My parents gave me a lot of freedom at that time. They had that confidence in me. And my father had his own way of communicating whatever he had to me in a subtle way, where I still remember I was going for a month and I was standing with my parents. And my mother, obviously being mother, was worried. She said, no, please eat this, do that. And my father was telling her, you don't understand. He's the sharpest and cleverest amongst all of us. He knows, he's 13-year-old now, he's matured and he's a brainy guy. This and that. And I felt, wow, this is brilliant. At the age of 13, you don't understand reverse psychology, how it works. But then today I look back and I think that, with that freedom, somewhere my subconscious mind also it registered that with freedom comes a responsibility. I should not misuse that freedom. So those are subtle messages, I think, which parents give us. Or rather, if we are not able to, then, through this book, it is not just about the physical health of your child. I think fitness also involves mental health, mental conditioning. And to have your child in a good space mentally, parents have to spend enough time with them to understand their likes and their dislikes, to understand what they are passionate about, which my parents did. And I got supported in the right direction, and I was extremely passionate about cricket. So it worked really well for me. I mean, I didn't count the number of hours that I practiced. And even after practicing the whole day and my parents were working in the opposite direction, they would come all the way from, my mother would work with LIC in Santa Cruz. She would catch a bus and come all the way to Shivaji Park just to spend half an hour with me and again go back to Bandra. And I was staying at Shivaji Park with my uncle and my aunt because commuting was much easier for me. But that gesture from my parents, at that age, 13, you don't realize, 12, 13, you feel, oh, my parents they're meant to be here, they're supposed to be here. But with other commitments and engagements, to consistently do that requires a lot of effort. And in those days, obviously, didn't have fancy cars, so, buses and trains were the only way of, the safest way we felt to travel, and commuting was not so easy. I started playing for India after that, and before that, got to spend a lot of time with my coach, Achrekar sir. Coaches, gurus, I would say are like our parents because we end up spending so much time with them. We learn so many things from them. Sir was strict at times, extremely strict, I would say, and also caring and loving. So, sir, though sir didn't say well played to me ever, I knew कि आज शाम को अगर sir has taken me to have Bhelpuri or Pani Puri, sir is happy. I have done something nice on field. So that was his way of conveying his feelings. When I went to England and played for India, got back, people had heard about me, and then I ended up meeting a medical student in 1990 who happens to be in this room. And we started chatting with each other quite a bit, got to know each other, and that is when I heard so many good things about Ambedkar sir. Well, I said, for months on end, she would just keep praising when I said, in my school, it was difficult to like my teachers so much. I preferred to be on cricket field rather than classroom. But for her, she, even now, after, so many years, I start talking about Ambedkar sir, and you can clearly see on her face that her face immediately changes, and she's so appreciative of his contribution in her life and what she is today. And I think without our Guru's commitment, dedication, and selflessness, I don't think we would be in this position at all. So a big thank you to you for being so selfless and making her what she is today. On a lighter note, I remember my school teacher telling me, an apple a day would keep a doctor away from you. And I religiously followed that for many years till I met a doctor. And then I felt like telling my teacher that an apple a day with doctor along your side is a better option. But sir, this book I'm sure everyone is going to read and learn a lot of things from this book. Even when there is a doctor, to have a good partnership in life, you still need a cricketer at the non-strikers, and I think she would. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of things to learn from this book, and more so when you meet Ambedkar sir. Thank you so very much once again, and I wish you all the very best for this, and continue to do what you have done for so many years and inspire us, all of us. Thank you.
Not comfortable talking in front of people, and that too to speak after Dr. Ambedkar and after Sachin, who speaks so effortlessly, it makes it even more difficult for me. Sachin has just mentioned Dr. Ambedkar was my teacher. He still is my teacher. In fact, after this, we're going to Sion Hospital to attend the class. Sir, just want to take a minute to thank you for everything that you've done for me, and I think every other pediatrician who's gone through colleges in Bombay. I mean, really, we would be nothing without you and your team. So thank you very much. And I think, sir, today you've called me here as a pediatrician and as a parent, and not just because I am Sachin's wife, probably. Anyway, what I wanted to say is actually anything that you get today in life, whether it's a simple, like a portable charger for your phone, or the fanciest car that you might buy, it comes with a manual, an instruction manual, and it tells you what to do. But the greatest gift or the greatest blessing in life that you can get, which is a child, comes with nothing. And for most of us, especially first-time parents, you really don't know what to do with your baby. Some years ago, people lived in joint families. You had your mother or you had your mother-in-law who would tell you what to do. But today, most people really don't know what to do. You have a baby, and if the baby's crying, you don't know, is my baby hungry? Is my baby, does she need a change of diaper? Or is it the sign of some serious underlying disease? Also, if a baby who used to cry, say, every 2 hours, suddenly stops crying and is like lethargic and quiet, a mom might think, oh, wonderful, I can now sleep for the next 6 hours. But that also could be a sign of another underlying, serious disease. So for most parents, you're completely lost. And I think now finally with this book, this is the manual, the guide that we've all been looking for, because it's so nicely, explained in two parts. One part on how, what you can do to maintain good health of your children, because as Sir said, most babies are born normal, by natural selection they're just born normal, but it's up to us how we look after them, how we nurture them, that keeps them healthy. And with parents today working and being busy, and also the unhealthy lifestyles that we lead, we're not really contributing to that. So I think the book helps us to identify some simple problems and how to deal with them, and also how to try and maintain the health of your child. And as Sir said, if we go to the doctor less with little problems which can be managed at home, it gives them more time to really focus on more serious illnesses. So I think everyone is should be really happy that finally such a book has come out, and I encourage everyone to read it and probably apply what is written. So thank you, Sir, and the other two authors as well. And so thank you very much for inviting me here and for asking me to speak.